Hey y'all, and Merry Christmas time. This video is brought to you by Frosty the Snowman and his scarf. Just kidding. I'm not going to do a video about the scarf Mandela effect because that's already been done and y'all probably are very well versed in it. The reason I feel compelled is a bad word or too strong of a word. The the reason I feel inclined to talk this morning is because I queued up on my computer this morning some Christmas music just to get the kids into the spirit and pulled up this, and this is the icon for the album. And you notice, of course, the scarf there, right? Which, unless it's changed, but I don't think it has, I don't think we've gone through a flip flop. I don't feel a disturbance in the force, you could say, but Frosty never had a scarf. So, uh, this is I just did another search, and what I'm getting to here is this is not, like I said, it's not a video about his scarf. This is a video about what happened while I was looking at Frosty the Snowman and his lack of a scarf. So I typed into the old engine there, Frosty the Snowman. That was it. Or Frosty the Snowman album cover. That was what I typed in. 99%, no kidding, 99%, and this scrolls on and on and on. I mean, you could do it yourself. 99% of the images all have him in a scarf. Literally, scarf, 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 scarf. Yet, never occurred. Frosty never had a scarf. And I recall, many people seem to recall him taking that scarf off to comfort the little girl, to warm her up. Never happened, but that's besides the point. This is not a video about Frosty the Snowman and him missing a scarf, as I said. This actually is, see on this one here, there he's got the scarf, and I noticed it said narrated by Andy Griffith. Now y'all know Andy Griffith is a big Mandela effect, and this is not a Mandela effect video about Andy Griffith's name. Not at all. I mean, I'm going there, but it didn't really inspire the video. But here again, you see the scarf is just over and over and over. And I thought, I just for the I don't know why. I was just like I feel that Andy Griffin name so strong. I just typed it in quotes. You know how you do in the search engine. You type it in quotes up there. You can see at the top Andy Griffin. And I typed that in just to see if there's any residual residue, whatever you want to call it, if there's anything out there about Andy Griffin. And if you look below, you see Andy Griffith, right? I took this screenshot because when I was first looking at this Wikipedia, it did not say Andy Griffith. And all I can do is say, I swear, I am 100%. This is not just me questioning whether or not it said Andy Griffin. This Wikipedia page at the very top said Andy Griffin. No Griffith, Griffin. It was everything was the same except his name was clearly Andy Griffin. And when it started talking about Andy Samuel Griffin, was an American actor and comedian and television producer and Southern. I thought, well, that sounds like Andy Griffith. Is there another one? I was honestly wondering if there's another Andy Griffin, like somebody who is just doing all the same thing. So I paused for a moment and I scrolled down to look at everything else. Everything below this Wikipedia was Andy Griffith. Only the Wikipedia said Andy Griffin. When I looked back up, literally just millisecond, uh, faster than the blink of an eye, this thing switched to Andy Griffin. Just glance down, glance up. It's Andy Griffith. Andy Griffin, Andy Griffith. And I'm 100%. This is not something that I'm like, did I just see it wrong? No, I'm 100%. That sucker was an Andy Griffin, and I thought it was very strange that I was getting just one Andy Griffin and everything below was Andy Griffith. So that's the reason I wanted to share that. It's been a long time since I've seen any of these things kind of glitch out like that, to do that kind of flip flop while I'm looking at it. It almost brings me to tears of joy because it's a reaffirming that this place is an illusion. I mean, it's very much an illusion, and it also seems extremely personal. Here I am looking at it, and it's like somebody out there, God, somebody just gives me this little nugget of like reminder, yeah, you are living in a very much an illusion. And I just when it happens right before my eyes, that's the most amazing thing to me. So reality is just so absurd when I see those things. It's the absurdity of reality. It's the absurdity of the experience that makes me think very much like I'm in a dream. I mean, when I have a lucid dream, often I have a lucid dream because I'm in the dream and bizarre things are happening around me because dreams make no sense. I mean, there's no the physics engine of a dream is very different than our waking world. And at some point in these dreams, it'll dawn on me, there's no way this is possible. I must be dreaming. A lot of times it's a nightmarish dream too, like, oh, bad things are happening, but I realize this can't be real. So what's the difference here? It's like now I'm awake, but I'm seeing the same absurdities. To me this is a dream, but how do I wake myself up from this one? The thing I like about the movie Inception is it kind of gave us this suggested idea of how you can have multiple dreams or layers of dreams where you have one dream right on top of another, and as you go deeper into it or at different levels, like one dream is one sleep cycle of this dream. And this dream is like one lifetime, which is another cycle. And who knows if there's layers of dream beyond that. And it's just, I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm just saying that's an interesting suggestion that was kind of brought out in the movie Inception. But it does feel very much like an illusion, or that I'm in a dream and I'm trying to kick the outside walls to see where I can get out, just like Truman, going across the water and trying to find that back door. I'm looking for the back door now when I see the most bizarre and bizarre things like Andy Griffith and Andy Griffin changing as I'm looking at them. Speaking of bizarre, if you've noticed the news articles recently, there have been all these zombie apocalypse news flashes. Zombie virus found in Russia. I mean, it's just the zombie virus revived. Is it dangerous? And just type in zombie virus into your engine there, and you'll see just a whole bunch of recent articles about the recent discovery of a 48,000-year-old zombie virus. Now, the reason I talk about that is it's just the same thing as the absurdity of watching Andy Griffith and Andy Griffin name change back and forth. It's the same absurdity. You look at the news articles that come out these days, and we're literally talking about a virus, a zombie virus. That's the news. I mean, think about when I was a kid how boring news was. I mean, the only thing that we were worried about day after day after day was a mushroom cloud, the Russians invading like Ren Dawn. I mean, I think back now and I'm thinking, man, news was pretty boring back then. I mean, I never thought that would be boring, but that's nothing compared to the bizarre news that I see every day in this stupid like illusion of reality. It's so bizarre. It should be triggering the question in everyone, how can this be real? How can this actually be legit? But we're in it. We're in this bizarre world where things change right before our eyes, where where Ricky never said to Lucy, "You've got some splaining to do." I mean, we live in mirror, mirror on the wall never existed. We live in this bizarre world now where zombie viruses is actually considered a legitimate piece of news. Well, I guess that's really all I wanted to share. I mean, many years ago, I did a video called "The Long List of uh, Christmas Mandela Effects," and that got some traction. It was allowed to be seen by the powers in charge. They put it out there. A lot of people watched it. But I was thinking today, if I really wanted to make that video again, it would be more work than I want to do, but I could go through a hundred potential good ones. That would be Christmas. I mean, and you see it every day. You're listening to the songs, and the reason Christmas is such of a big one for so many people is we have a lot of childhood memories, strong memories connected to Christmas. So when we come across these things that are different from what we knew so well, that it creates a lot of interesting Mandela effects for discussion. Not, I mean, they may not all be 100%, but it makes some interesting conversations. I'll tell you the one that was 100% though is just this morning, like an hour ago. This top link was Andy Griffin, no doubt about it. I am 100%, and I was really puzzled how I had one link as Andy Griffin and everything else was Griffith below, just that quickly, just in a moment it switches on me. Happens, it happened daily back when I was like heavily like going down the rabbit hole and looking for Mandela effects. Now I'm not doing that so much, but it was so often back then. I just took it for granted. And then you go for a long time where you don't see anything, and you kind of miss how intense it was at the time. So it was nice to get a reminder. On other fronts, I want to thank everybody for their prayers and positive comments and support about the job situation. I have been stressing. If I was a more advanced soul, I would not worry. I would be more detached. I would not care about the bleeding that's been going on with my personal P&L statement. Not having a job, I've seen the big chunks coming out of savings and getting just a tad bit nervous, more than a tad, like sweating bullets nervous. So I say that to confess I must be not all that advanced, because I fall into the worry that I should not. I should not let these things bother me, but yet they do. And the big concern for me, I another thing that I realized in the whole mess is that I was mostly concerned about being able to help my son finish his last year of school. This time next year, he will have graduated with the electrical engineering degree. It's a 5-year program. I mean, it used to be 4 years. You can get any degree you want, but now they've added so many classes to engineering that it takes five full time, a full time student the whole time. It takes 5 full years, and we're so close, and it's been a big, and he loves it, loves the work, and I've really wanted to see him get that. He is interning at the most respected and largest firm in this area for electrical engineering. They love him, and he's got a great job, just waiting for him to finish school. So my I realized my concern about the finances was heavily placed on seeing him be able to finish, and it's just so expensive to get him through. But that's it. I mean, once he's through, I I'm not as worried about any of this. I mean, I can survive on a lot less. The family can survive on a lot less. It's just getting him through this. So I had a big sigh of relief this week. I had two great interviews. They were second interviews. Um, I should hear the job that I'm really excited about is actually a VP position. They contacted me. I didn't even contact them because I didn't even think, I'd have a shot anyway. Second interview went great. The guy that I first spoke with about the job walked me to the parking lot, out to the car, and told me twice it went very, very well. That I should be hearing something next week. I'm really looking forward to that offer. If I don't get it, I've got another solid offer that I can start next month. It would stop the bleeding, but it's about 75% of what I was making before, and it's not as great of a title, and it's going to be a lot of hours. It's I'm told I'm walking into a dumpster fire. It's going to be a intense job, but it gets me at least to keep my son in school, and that's a backup if I don't get the position. But I'm really hoping that this position comes through for the VP spot, and very excited about that. And I've got one other possibility, so that one might not get offered until the beginning of January, but that one's as good. So I hate to I hate to get started with somebody and say, hey, I'm sorry, I have to take this other gig, but I I'm hoping that I can get this sealed before I even start day one with the other folks. But at least the sweating bullets is alleviated some. It feels good to not, and I'm not sweating bullets at all about the zombie virus found in Russia. That's so stupid. It's just so ridiculously stupid what this world has become that all of these news headlines, they're right up there with Apophis. The world is a bizarre illusion. It's and who knows? I'm glad to be reminded that this is an illusion. My next question that I would put out there to God is, whose benefit is this illusion? Is this illusion for my benefit? Is it is it a louche factory for somebody else's benefit, or is it a mutual benefit? Who's who's the benefit here? And for this being an illusion, for this being a bizarro world, who's to gain? But just wanted to just wanted to throw out a quick video and talk about how crazy and bizarre this world is, and how Frosty the Snowman, we knew he had a scarf, and 99% of these links for his album covers show him with the scarf. So I don't know. Does anybody who's normal out there, who doesn't see, who's not hardcore affected, do they not see this and think that's strange? And but they really don't. They can't wake up from this dream, this second level layer of dream that really wants us to keep focused on what's real and solid, and nothing bizarre like this. It doesn't want us to think about. And when you're dreaming at night, it's the same way. When you're dreaming at night and you're seeing bizarre things, bizarre images, bizarre impossible events, the dream world that you're in when you're sleeping at night has some type of mechanism, some type of programming that your mind does not want to recognize the bizarreness of it. So you go along with it. I mean, if you just track your dreams for a while, just write them down. You go along with the stupidest things in your dreams. In your nighttime dreams, you're completely convinced that that dream is real. Even if you're talking to somebody who has two heads, you don't even question it. I mean, that's how dreams are at night. What's the difference here when we're awake? We're still seeing bizarre. We're still seeing stupid. We're still seeing things that say we're in a dream or an illusion. And yet people in the waking time don't question their environment or their surroundings the same way we don't do it when we're sleeping at night, unless you have that rare experience of getting lucid. So how do we get lucid now while we're awake? We see it's bizarre. What's the secret here? What's the key? What's the next step? And who's to benefit? So that's really what the video is about. It's not about Frosty's scarf. Anyway, God bless.